from Richard Thurman Entertainment Studios in San Antonio, Texas. Welcome to Phantom of the Beard with Mark.
I would much rather fist a Cuisinart.
Chris.
It's like, let himself go.
And Levin. And I caught a glimpse of the elusive Brett Ratner in his natural environment. Phantom of the Beard.
Welcome to Phantom of the Beard. We'll be talking about Doctor Who today. Mark is out, but we'll be reviving him from the dead next week. This week in his place, we have our good friend Ashley. Ashley is our first non-bearded participant in the podcast. So we'll be having a picture of her up with the beard that we've given her today.
It's not natural beard, but she will be having a beard.
It's
yes,
true. We will make sure she has a beard for the podcast. It's not a problem. So, in things that have happened this week, see anything interesting this week, Chris?
Nothing particular. I've just been really busy lately. I'm back in school. I'm taking an online class for microbiology, so I've just been reading books. So that's all I've seen interesting lately is reading books. I did download, because with PS Plus Network, you get free games every month. So I did download the remastered DuckTales.
Nice.
And that's really fun.
Is the Moon Levels music still as good as it used to be?
Everything's still the same. They brought voice acting work into it, and they found all the original voices.
Oh, wow.
Like, even Scrooge McDuck, who's like, the actor's in his 90s, and they found and brought him on. He still does the voice, like, spot on, like, goes.
Jeez. I guess you do it long enough.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
How about you, Ashley? What you been up to this week?
Not much. Getting back into the swing of things, reading a lot of, interesting stuff about the upcoming season for Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah.
Survived a convention, so... Yeah.
Well, that's a good way to do it. Yeah, we had PAX South here.
Yes, actually, I was at that, by the way.
Just the last weekend. Yeah, huge event. We had something like 60,000 people at PAX.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's crazy huge. Of course, I did not go myself because that's just not my bag, as it were. But I had plenty of friends who went, and in fact, one who got pictures taken with Markiplier on his way in. Yeah. Amazing. And apparently he is just as cool as we expected him to be.
I believe it.
Yeah. He's just an awesome dude, bro. So, glad to hear about that. As far as this week in my life, the most interesting thing has been food. We've actually been cooking different food this week. Specifically, we were making our meal plan, and my significant other was like, hey, name a country. And I was like, that's weird. All right, Greece. She was like, okay, so we'll have moussaka. I was like,
interesting.
What? Sure enough, we had moussaka, not last night, but the night before. Oh, my word. It's incredible. It's like a Greek lasagna, but instead of lasagna noodles, you use eggplant, lamb instead of beef, and feta instead of ricotta, Greek seasoning instead of Italian. Blew me away. The really impressive thing was we did that 2 more times. The second time I said India once I figured out what we were doing. And she was like, okay, sag paneer. We haven't done that one yet. That's coming this week.
I like paneer. Paneer's good.
Oh, yeah, super down. And then she's like, okay, do it one more time. And I was like, France. And she was like, okay, the dessert will be from France. And I was like, oh, okay. So we made pot de crème, which is a really pretentious just to say.
Yeah, but it's French, so you have to be this way.
Yeah, exactly. You have to tilt your nose back just a little bit when you say it. But it was super good. It's like a chocolate custard. Ooh. And then she made whipped cream from scratch. Yes, really. To put on top of it. I know. Basically, I'm the luckiest person on the planet.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. No, it's mine, and you can't have any. I'll absolutely have to do that.
So when y'all did Greece, did you get any baklava or no?
No. Just one dish from each country for right now. Although she did say that she really wanted to work with the kind of dough that you use to make baklava, whose name I cannot remember to save my life right now.
Yeah, it's almost like a croissant dough, almost, but it's
almost, but not quite.
Well, exactly, it's the thin layers,
super flaky,
kind of
thing. And oh,
it's good stuff though.
All of the want, all of it. So this week's focus is actually on Doctor Who, as much as I do enjoy food, although I'm pretty sure we can, work that in. I'm sure
sticks and custard. Yeah. Done. Yes.
Yeah, done. It's actually a thing that we're going to do at my wedding, if we can, is have the quote-unquote fish sticks with the, like their angel bread and then custard, except for one of our friends who doesn't listen to the podcast, and we're going to mess with him, and we're going to give him an actual fish sticks. Like straight up microwaved out the freezer fish sticks and custard.
I'm the weird enough guy who actually would try the fish sticks and custard
Yeah,
itself.
you would, except would be like, oh, it's just it's really sponge cake, no worries. And he'd be like, what the? It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait for the look on his face. The other thing we wanted to do is have everyone in DC T-shirts, DC Heroes or Marvel Heroes T-shirts, and then have him either be a villain or the other universe. So if we're doing Marvel,
like Red
have
Sun
him...
kind of thing, Red Sun Superman.
No, I mean like if we're all in Marvel, then he'll be wearing like a Green Lantern shirt, and so to the casual observer, they'll be like, oh, that's cool. They made them all superheroes. And then any nerd are going to be like, why is he in Green Lantern? Everyone else is Marvel. So it would work well for that. But yeah, it's actually, we're doing a Doctor Who themed wedding.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
we're basing it on the Vengo episode of, oh yeah. So she's also Jewish. So the chuppah. It's
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a platform held up by 4 pillars. It's a piece of cloth that's always hanging. It's always a hanging piece of cloth. And so we're probably going to have cloth with Starry Night on the underside, and then have the pillars covered in sunflowers.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
It's going to be amazing.
Big time excited. Her bouquet is, the base of the bouquet is going to be a sonic screwdriver. At 10s, of course.
Of course.
We might do several others for the bridesmaids bouquets, like have the 3rd and 9th and everybody else's, and so maybe even River Songs, the one that she gets from Future Doctor,
yeah,
with tempas and red settings, and then of course I'm gonna be in a suit and bow tie.
Yay!
Because bow ties are cool.
Yes, bow ties are cool.
Yes.
We're probably also all gonna be in Converse, so because
Yeah, exactly. You have to. Plus, Chucks are comfortable, so.
Also that, yeah.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then at the end of it, I'm going to be married too, so that'll be cool.
Oh yeah, there's that too. Yeah.
And then there's that.
Yes.
So I'm really effing excited about it. I'm not gonna lie.
You will have your lifetime companion.
I'm hers. I don't even mince words. She's clearly the Time Lord of the two of us. She's Mary Poppins. I'm Mickey. So
Mary Poppins, but now is she an evil Mary Poppins?
it's an excellent question. I'm not sure. Sometimes I think yes. Sometimes maybe no. And I have yet to jump into chalk drawings. So she might still be the evil one, I think. Yeah.
As long as there should be a chimney sweep, I think it should be fine.
So tell me, Chris, what is your favorite doctor?
So
What's he like?
Yes.
And does he enjoy long walks on the beach and
I hear he likes pina coladas.
getting caught in the rain?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Now, for Ashley's sake, every time somebody asks me a question on this podcast, what's your favorite blank and blank? I'm like, I don't have a favorite. I have a list of favorites because I can't keep it to one thing.
Okay.
So,
But this
I-
one you better have an answer for because there's no acceptable, oh, it's a tie. No, that's wrong. That's the wrong question. That's the wrong answer to this question.
Well, I'm going to go with, if I'm going to choose one out of all of them, I'm going to go with 10 because I've thought about getting the idea of getting a tattoo with 10 because me and Christina, my significant other, have thought about like getting like sharing matching tattoos. She was going to get a bow tie. I was going to get 3D glasses. I was going to make like, I was thinking like 8-bit 3D glasses.
That's awesome. I significantly and very highly approve. Ashley, who's your favorite doctor and why?
10th Doctor, just because for me, he embodies all of them. At least I was raised on Tom Baker. So he's got that sass like Tom Baker, but it's, if you're going to run with a doctor, he's the one I'd want to run with.
Definitely. Well, I mean, he took it so much darker than any other doctors have gone. The whole Time Lord Victorious saga and everything else. I mean, he went full bore right on the edge of what an evil Time Lord could be.
Right.
And only brought himself back from the brink, only redeemed himself in keeping what he had basically started to become out by throwing the Time Lords back.
Right.
Super freaking awesome. I'm also a huge fan of Tennant, but actually, my favorite doctor is Matt Smith because he is sick of remembering. He's sick of remembering, so he intentionally forgets. And in so doing, he's like, nope, not dealing with that. Gonna run away. And that embodies the spirit of the Doctor as a whole to me. Since, he's been running ever since.
Exactly.
Right.
Super good.
Because
Can't get
I
enough of it.
enjoyed Matt Smith. One, he reminds me of one of my friends who died because he had that old soul about him, but with a young face.
Right.
Like you could tell, like he played it so well because he had those thousands of years of experience behind his eyes, but has a really like 10-year-old face kind of thing, and a huge chin.
Huge chin. It's
It's
beautiful.
just- to me, there was a lot of trotting in his performance.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's true. Well, because
At least that's the
Yeah.
feeling I got, watching
no,
him.
I can agree with that. He was interesting in himself. Although my second favorite Doctor being William Hartnell. Although that's mostly just because it's really, really fun to hear him stumble over his lines because he's senile. And I know that that's terrible, but it's still funny anyway. I don't care. He was a funny fucking old man. That's just how that goes. And also, he started off he really set the tone for the series with, well, it's going to be an educational. Just kidding. We're changing our minds completely about everything. Not to mention the special effects at the time. Oh, priceless. Priceless.
Well, you gotta do with what you gotta do.
Exactly. And it's perfect.
You got like no budget back in the 50s. Was it late 60s or early 60s?
60. It started in 63.
63,
Yep,
yeah. So
correct.
yeah, early 60s with no budget.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, gotta Ed Wood things.
Oh yeah, and there's an episode with William Hartnell where they're on a planet of ant people, and the ant people are straight up giant plastic ants with a hole carved in the butt, and there's two legs sticking out of the butt, and when the ants move, it's just the legs moving, and the ant stays completely stationary and just, oh my god, it's fantastic. And I imagine it was absolutely harrowing to the people who were watching it at the time, and me, I can't stop fucking laughing.
Well, the fact that the Daleks, even when the Daleks have not changed since they first appeared, and they're still creepy.
Oh yeah, they're still creepy, and they have a plunger
Exactly.
and a fucking paint roller as their weapons.
Yeah. But I think it's the voice that seals the deal more than anything. Whoever started that voice is what set the whole tone.
It was actually the equipment that they used to record the voices. They're still using it, and it is the only show that still uses that piece of equipment. It's a talk box. And essentially it's what they used to make electronic noises before autotune was a thing. And
Okay.
it's
That
actually
makes
in that same thing, it's actually what they told people Cher used when she sang Believe instead of autotune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have ruined that. I'm going to be thinking of Daleks now next time I hear that song.
Do you believe in life after love?
Exactly. That's what's in my head now.
You're welcome.
I think you've made it better for me.
I can feel something inside me saying, yeah. no,
I
that's-
really don't think you're strong enough now.
Well, and the Daleks themselves. I mean, the fact that the idea can carry over for 50 years and still be so potent and so just terrifyingly, overwhelmingly powerful, that they are the ultimate in essentially racial cleansing, and they've essentially become a force of nature.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, it's the ultimate in racial cleansing, but also the ultimate in war. As humanity, we always have the capability of war, and a lot of people are afraid of that. So the Daleks represent that drive for conquering, that drive for conquest, the drive for just utter destruction, and it's a fear we all have.
Which is always that interesting dynamic because the Daleks are always telling the Doctor, "You're just like us."
Yeah.
But,
And that's so cool because
Right.
he has certain tendencies in him that he tends towards destruction. Although in most cases, it's not even his fault. Of course, coming back around to Tenet. In some of his cases, that was absolutely his decision, and he chose to destroy everything,
right.
specifically with Arachni.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Oh, and then the alternate universe that comes off it from Turn Left shows just how dark it had gotten, that if he had let himself fall in that moment, how fucked everybody else would have been.
Exactly. Oof.
Yes.
Because the power behind the Doctor, with the Doctor turning evil, oof.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's kind of the whole thing about the Time Lord Victorious is he named a galaxy Allison. Like, well, shit. Okay. And so it's, he just kind of went off on his own tangent. And, but instead of, oh, I'm going to blow up that galaxy. Well, I guess you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, what was it that Adelaide Brooks said, there's no one to stop you.
And that's a beautiful saga. The Waters of Mars was
That episode gave me
Painful.
major heebie-jeebies.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yes.
Gee, do tell.
Well, I watched that one at, I want to say it was 11 o'clock at night. And I was like, I'm not up to date. I have to watch this. Otherwise, I have to avoid the internet at all costs.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, naturally.
And when it was over, I just kind of looked around. It's like, I'm sleeping with the lights on. Thank you very much.
The one that still does that for me, the scariest episode of Doctor Who. Was that your scariest episode for you? Or what's your
No,
scariest?
I'm tied between that one and Blink.
Okay. Blink is
good.
really incredible. It's my favorite episode. It's not the one that scares me the most, but Chris, which one scares you the most?
I'd go between Blink or the one with, it was almost like a haunted house, but they were doing with the, what's the name of those people? The one that you turn around, you forget them completely.
Oh, the
it's
silence.
The Silence, yes.
Oh God,
Yes.
the
I like
one in the
Silence.
orphanage.
Yes.
The
Thank
former
you.
orphanage.
The former orphanage one, yes.
I'm trying to remember which was that Day of the Moon.
No,
They
they-
had met Canton Everett the third. No, that was the Impossible Astronaut because they started that off. Yeah. So also amazing and scary as crap episode. I loved it. The one that scares me the most still is Silence in the Library.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah, the Vashta Narada are the creepiest enemy. At least with everything else, there's a weakness. Silence, you shoot them with guns.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, holy crap, guns work? All right, neat. The Daleks, same for the eye stalk. The
Right.
Centaurans, vent in the back of the neck. Vashta Narada, run.
Yeah, there's nothing to stop them.
Oh, I love it. Living shadows that'll eat freaking everything. And of course that means that I, for the next 3 weeks after seeing that episode, categorically avoided anything that wasn't well lit.
We got to also watch out because if you have two sources of light or multiple sources of light, it's like, I got 2 or 3 shadows, I am done.
Right.
Chicken. Okay. I'm just gonna, maybe if I give them a whole bird, they'll leave me alone. I don't know. And they're an amazing enemy in that they are so alien. Like that, well, you know what they want. And you're the thing that they want. Like, oh,
Right.
well, neat.
There was no bargaining with them. It's like, that's it. We want you, and that's it.
Yeah, we want food.
And you are the food.
Great.
Snack.
Yay. Although I did like the way that series ended with Cal watching over them and essentially giving them eternal digital life. I'm
Yes.
super down for that. One day in a million days, I think he says, is everybody lives. He
Yes.
says it in
Yes.
Eccleston's time.
Yes.
For once, everybody lives.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which just reminded me of the funny, oh, there's going to be a draft line. When he goes to rescue Jack Harkness out of the ship that has the bomb in stasis, it's like he goes into the TARDIS and he goes, well, close the doors, your ship's about to explode, there's going to be a draft.
Yes.
I love it. The series has done so much for me, just in general. Aside from the fact that I get to meet awesome people, based on the fact that I am a fan of the same things as them, it also gives you more insight and perspective. And what do you think the series has done most for you as a whole?
Just, I guess, reignited my love of sci-fi kind of thing. Because it's bringing back all those fantastical creatures, all those fantastical worlds out there, and the possibilities of it all, and just kind of brought it to me and reignited that love I have for sci-fi.
Just as that sense of adventure, because you want to be able, to go and explore and see things, and at the same time have somebody, with you to have your back at all times. Because, it's, you get in some pretty dodgy situations, especially running with the doctor, and it's nice, to know that you have this, powerful being who's got your back.
And I don't know about y'all guys individually, but my love of sci-fi came from when I was a kid. We'd watch Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just consistently make fun of it with them. And,
Yes.
oh, God, funny guys. They're still doing stuff. They're still doing the riff tracks.
Yes.
And I can't recommend that highly enough. They're fucking great. Battlefield Earth made me almost crap my pants laughing a couple times. Like, it's just such a terrible movie, and they made it good. I didn't even think that was possible. They made Battlefield Earth watchable.
Well, you know, even with, I was raised on classic Godzilla movies, and you know they've done quite a few of those. You know, they've done a lot of the Gameras,
and Rodans, and
yes. And to a degree, I can't. Some of the original Godzillas, you know, are very good. Some of them are very, very bad, and I can't watch them anymore without riffing the ever living hell out of them. Because there's just no stopping. You know, once you've gotten Mystery Science Theater in your blood, once you've got a hold of something bad, there's going to be no mercy.
So, tell me, Ashley. Doctor says you get one trip in the TARDIS for helping him out in a sticky situation. Where you're gonna go?
In terms of historical, I can't even think of anything historical, because I could think of major plot points in history where the Doctor just would not take me because I would cause too much problems. So I would ask him to take me to 1982 so I could see Poltergeist in the theater along with everybody else and just watch everybody lose their minds.
Nice. What about you, Chris?
I probably wouldn't stay on Earth. I'd probably just go some kind of fantastical world out there. I'd be like, can you take me to a world in the infinite of universes and time to where I could recreate that one, the first room the kids go into in Charlie and Chocolate Factory, where everything is edible.
Ooh, I like that idea.
I would only be concerned that he would take me to a place where everything is edible, but so are you.
Yes,
They make that joke in the first Charlie and Chocolate Factory too.
it's true. Instead of Soylent Green, Soylent Wonka, you know?
Oh, God. Womp womp. Or wonk wonk, as it were. I think I'd probably go future. I think I'd probably say, show me where humans get better if they do. And if they don't, then just show me the height of our civilization as a whole.
It's a good thought.
And I'd like to think that we survive and get better, especially with right now we are poised to solve world hunger, fix disease, and colonize Mars. Like we are on the precipice of all three of these fantastic achievements that we have been trying to do for ever since we have become a sentient species. We've been trying to do these things, and so I have high hopes that maybe, just maybe, we can be worth the trip from the Doctor. That was really cheesy. I don't care. I didn't give a shit. It was fantastic.
It's just I would have to just do something fun, just because I would be the one to cause the problems in the episode. You know, take me to X point in history, I'm going to start shit.
Exactly. Let's kill Hitler. Like, what?
Exactly.
No.
I would be that person. I would be that person. I would go and I would roundhouse kick him in the face.
So, picture this, if you will. Time travel's invented. Everybody goes to kill Hitler. Hitler gets really good at killing time travelers, because that's just, if you do it long enough, you know, you're gonna get really good at it. So until finally one of them catches him and convinces him to leave in the bunker, and he gets tried in the future. Okay, fine, whatever. Turns out the one who convinced him to leave in the bunker, they're having issues with time travelers in the future. Is your biggest problem with this that Hitler is saving the world, or is it that he didn't get shot?
What kind of problem do time travelers do you have to have that big enough to be willing to kill off 6 million people?
They're coming back from the end of the
people.
universe. Come back from the end of the universe and destroying everything. Because they're trying to use time travel to escape the end, which would make sense unless the technology was lost. Universe, good stuff.
True. I don't know. Depends.
Agreed.
I'd go with I'd have to assess situation of what is the bigger threat to not just humanity but nature itself. Is it time travelers who are just wanting destruction, or is it just one guy killing off 30 million people in this one time period? Or in the sense of, is it the fact that Hitler lives that doesn't create time travel, or is the fact that Hitler gets killed that does create time travel? Like the fact that if Hitler didn't die early on, nobody would want to go back in time to try and kill him. I mean, there's other people out there, of course, throughout history who've killed millions of people.
True.
But he's the prevalent in our society.
Well, yeah, he's pretty much the worst guy who ever lived. And
Right.
So, yeah. And the only one who's even comparable is obviously, Stalin, but whatever.
Yeah.
But you don't...
Yeah.
I was going to kick microphones.
Wait,
Don't mind me.
He killed people with starvation, not with gas chambers and bullets and some bullets, but not as many bullets.
It's true. It's all fucked up.
Right. Because when you put it that way, Stalin, is just your basic run-of-the-mill evil dictator. It's like, oh, I hate you all. I'm just going to starve you to death. The problem is that Hitler put way too much thought into it, and he had enough people to wrangle who shared that mindset, and just all hell broke loose.
And yet, still none of us are quite as impulsive as Melody Pond to be like, well, we should totally go kill Hitler when the doctor asks us where we want to go.
Wait, what?
So what did you guys think about the Pond saga? I hear a lot of people who dislike the whole timey-wimey, my daughter looks older than me type deal.
Well, I really liked them as characters. I mean, they worked. I mean, they worked well with the Doctor. They worked well, with the 11th Doctor. I mean, they all fit together really well. Yeah, I know a lot of people have complaints, but to me, they were just good characters. As far as being well-rounded, and if you're going to say, oh, well, if the Doctor were real, what would it be like? And I think that dynamic, that's how it would be. Trying to juggle between, with the, Amy and Rory, trying to have a life together at the same time. Here's our fantastical friend who wants to, take us places. So if you're going to go for an element of realism, I would say that's the most, plausible, depiction of what it would be like to be friends with the Doctor.
Well, exactly, because they would age, and they made a point about it, like when Rory's father was asking, like, how long were they gone this time? Like 6 months. Like, oh my God, seriously?
Right.
Yeah. Because he was shortening their life span in their timeline by having them live so long outside of their timeline.
Right.
So I enjoyed them as characters, and I feel like they're put in there to give a better example of what it'd be like to live with the Doctor, as Ashley was saying. Because everybody's like, oh, live with the Doctor for a while. It'd be great to see all these fantastic worlds. But you got to realize you only have a finite amount of time in this world, in this life. So you're sacrificing your own timeline of living longer by being with the Doctor.
I would 100% do that, though.
Well, I know.
Right.
No doubt about it. I could also very well die on one of the adventures that I'm having with him.
Exactly.
Although, I'm trying to think, have any companions actually died by his
Adric.
side? That's right, Patrick did.
Is he the only one?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure. I know Susan left in the midst of a Dalek war, which we still don't know how that even wound up.
I mean, Rory died a bunch, but he came back.
Yeah.
Right.
He got better.
It's only a flesh wound.
So the BBC tends to recycle their actors, as we know. And
Really? I didn't notice.
yeah, you didn't notice that Peter Capaldi played a main role in a Doctor Who episode and then got cast as the Doctor again?
Or that one guy who was in Being Human, was also in Doctor Who, was also in a bunch of other stuff too.
Or
Oh, yeah, Alonzo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, wait, your name's Alonzo? Yeah. That's wonderful.
And, even Merlin himself was on the show for... actually, I take that back. When we talk about scariest episodes, Midnight, that was probably one of the scariest ones I've ever seen.
Gosh, so good.
Just the mob mentality, just not... The Doctor not knowing what he was up against, plus just that mob mentality, just all trying to discuss his fate. Just those scenes always make my skin crawl.
Oh, yeah, because it reminded me of The Mist. The Mist is a terrible
Yes.
movie.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Midnight was excellent horror, which
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
took the series back to its 70s timeline, is what if I'm thinking correctly. The late 70s.
I want to say it sounds about right. Let's say it is. Yes, we'll edit it later.
Yeah, that works.
But we
So,
won't.
but it took it back to its horror roots, and then left it there to stew and just boil you away with what could this thing be.
Right.
In addition, you can see that it's strong and it's capable of destruction, and it also takes over the only character who you actually like.
Well, it was just, to me, I mean, just that episode was so, just ultimately creepy. But what was Colin Morgan's character's name? I don't even remember his character's name, but he's trying to voice an opinion about the situation and saying, well, the doctor is not the problem. Listen to me. This is what I'm seeing here. And everyone says, oh, you're just a kid. You don't know anything. Shut up.
Which they do the same thing to Dee Dee.
Right.
And which is clearly stupid because she's obviously much smarter than the scientist who's just too set in his ways.
Right.
Although I think maybe I have some theories about that, the creature in Midnight. Maybe it enhances your own essential nature to a degree. Because the doctor put himself in harm's way to save this thing that he didn't know what it was. That's pretty doctor.
It is.
The parents who belittle their child, which you see in the
Early on,
beginning. You see them belittle him. They continue to do so on a greater degree when it matters more. The old crusty scientist who enjoys teaching people about the things that he knows, he continues to spout what he knows. Dee Dee, who's in the process of discovery and trying to find, well, in her case, the Lost Moon of Poosh, but also, just find new things. And then the stewardess who just wants to serve the people. And it's work a day for her until that point.
Right.
And so I feel like maybe it enhanced the essential nature of the creatures. What do you think?
That sounds good. I like that.
Well, the whole thing was, one of the memes I've seen on the internet, how that episode is the ultimate game of copycat. So now that you brought that up, it makes sense.
Hell of an episode. Of course, Tennant had so many really good ones.
He did.
Blink immediately comes to mind.
Girl in the Fireplace.
Girl in the Fireplace. So sad.
Yes.
God. I cried. I will freely admit, my humongous bearded ass cried. It was so good. And just, you could feel her love for him and how intertwined they were and how quickly. And then just in a puff of smoke, it's fucking gone.
Right.
Damn it. Who wrote that episode? Because I want to punch him. Was that Davies?
No, I think Moffat wrote that one.
Of course, that was Moffat.
It was Moffat. Of course,
Who else would it be?
When Moffat still did good things.
He did. Although, what do you... I've heard mixed opinions on the 50th anniversary.
I enjoyed it.
I did too.
I liked it a lot.
I've heard people who said that it sort of did away with the drama and the difficulty that the Doctor embodied as 10 specifically, with the fact that he was wrestling with bringing his own people back because of what they'd become, that he hadn't saved them, that it just invalidated it. What do you think about that?
Well, they also had this grand setup, with for the end of time, for the two-parter for End of Time, that the time Tennant locked the Time Lords away, and then you've got the stasis cubes and you've got the paintings. Well, they had to have gone somewhere, and that's just the whole big build-up. Well, Gallifrey's still out there. And so it just it kind of all intertwines with each other. And to me, that part of it really worked.
I thought so, too. Definitely. What about you, Chris? What did you think about the 50th anniversary?
I liked it a lot, too. I have to agree with Ashley, because it feels like they did tie everything together, because you can't erase anything from time or history itself.
Right.
They may have tried to, like the whole Time War, they tried like, oh, that's just farther away in some little pocket universe kind of thing, but you can't get rid of it. It's still there. So that's why I like the art gallery, because it's the whole paintings of things and everything was just, it's still linked.
Something occurred to me. I was looking at some stills from the 50th anniversary this week, leading up to, obviously, this fantastic experience here. Yes. And did you see the round things in the museum wall next to the next to Gallifrey Falls? The leading theory on that is that perhaps the basement is the curator's TARDIS.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I like that a lot. It would mean that, obviously, Tom Baker, who
Yeah.
just so glad he came back for that.
Oh yeah,
And,
it's
you know,
fine.
so many people whined about that, and it's like, no, it's Tom Baker. Shut up.
Exactly. He was the first one to bring Doctor Who to the forefront for the general public.
Right.
Because before, like, he was like the third Doctor, but still, it wasn't as popular. Fourth
Sorry.
Doctor. Sorry, I'm terrible with numbers. It was he was the first one to bring it really to be as iconic as it is.
Oh, definitely. Well, I mean, and to this day, you still see anyone in a in an actual fedora, which I might point out is not a trilby. Damn it. But if you see anyone in a fedora and a long, multicolored scarf,
11-foot
Yes.
long scarf.
yeah, then you know exactly who that is, and you're
Exactly.
like, I like your costume. The end.
Well, yeah, and he's the one who's, I mean, he is the most, as far as all of the Doctors, he is really the most iconic. So, I mean, he's the one who still keeps getting cameos on Futurama.
Exactly. On Futurama, they made references to him in like I think here Simpsons, the other show. He's been referenced to a lot of other things before.
Right.
Family Guy even referenced him in the Star Wars episode where they go really fast forward and the lights go by.
That's right.
And it starts the opening intro
Right.
for Doctor Who
For Doctor
Yeah.
Who with Tom Baker's
with
face.
Tom Baker. Exactly.
Right.
And I'm trying to remember if he was the first one who had his face in the intro. I think he was.
Was
right?
he? Yeah.
Because before then it was the wavy 50s lines intro, all black and white, and then the Tom Baker started the color intro, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
And of course then that becomes a staple that
Right.
they then did that until the reboot. And I'm really glad that they stopped it at the reboot. It seemed kind of weird to have a face flying at me through time and space.
Well, I like with what they've done with the accent, you know, for, you know, now with the current run where you just see Capaldi's eyes, you know, in the intro. So that's really cool how they did that. But just the new intro itself is fantastic.
I know. I still enjoyed when they did it. I think it was season 11.
Yeah, Matt Smith had a good intro.
With Matt Smith, where they put the DW as the sides of the TARDIS.
Yes. That
Yeah.
was a nice touch.
That was really good. And they've done a lot visually with the series to make it more evocative, to make it more real to their audiences. And of course, you start off with the special effects from the 60s, which are just hilarious awful, and that continues until you get to CG, really, which only came about in the reboot, and even then in the pilot episode for the reboot, which I consistently say is the worst episode in the series.
Oh, with
It's
the Santas?
with no
The Autons.
Autons, yes.
Yeah, the living plastic.
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was the Nestine.
I don't remember.
Yeah, 'cause he was addressing the Nestine consciousness, which was the molten pool of plastic.
I know. I still think the worst episode of Eccleston is either Fear Her or Love and Monsters. I don't like either of those.
Those were
Tenants.
both Tenet.
Yeah.
Did it?
Although I did not like Fear Her, I did adore Love and Monsters. With one exception, the flash forward that they do at the beginning where it has Moaning Myrtle getting pulled into the thing and you're like, what is going on? I didn't want to know she was going to die in the middle of the episode. Fuck
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be sad enough. Don't tell me and then make me wait for it, you bastard.
Yeah. Was that a Moffat episode?
I think that was Davies.
I think it was
Let me check.
Davies.
Oh, well. I don't know. I have a tendency to blame everything on Moffat these days.
We see that.
Yeah.
It's not healthy.
Well, the way I look at it is with Moffat, it's kind of like blaming George Lucas for Star Wars. The first three,
True.
he was producer and screenwriter for, not a director. The next three, he was a director. So he had all these great ideas that everybody loved, but he had too much power in the next one to where nobody could tell him no.
Right, right.
Yeah, then all the bad ideas got to go anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody could tell him no. And the first time, he had a bunch of great ideas. Everybody's like, oh, that's a good idea. Then he had other bad ideas. Like, no, we're not doing that. I'm the director. No. Or like he kind of had to do things there. But then when the new ones came out, it was nobody could tell him no anymore. He was, I'm George Lucas. Look at my great beard. Ha ha.
I gotta give it to him. He does have a good beard.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, he may hate his fans in such a way that I will never be able to love a woman the way he hates his fans. But by God, that man has a good beard.
Well,
And
don't get me wrong. George Lucas was brilliant in what he started, but he kind of lost his way.
Yes, exactly.
we got
in a big way.
Yeah. Well, I think he got caught up into the same kind of game that Michael Bay did.
Oh, God.
It's about motherfucking money. And I also can't blame him for that because he made a lot of motherfucking money.
But you can make a lot of, you can make a lot of fucking money and still produce a good film. Case in point, James Gunn with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes. And that was so good. And by the way, just Marvel's, just their entire cinematic universe has made me so happy.
Yeah, they're producing great films.
Well, especially because I'm a Whedon fanboy too.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
Because I've said it multiple times. I'll say it again. I am 100% straight, except for where it comes to Joss Whedon. I would suck that man's dick out of respect. Just out of respect.
Out of respect. But then you do little teeth. It's like, why'd you kill Wash? You got little teeth.
What he's been asked that, of course, on multiple occasions. His immediate response to that is, "You're lucky I didn't kill all of them. It was the end."
Yeah, exactly.
He's right.
It's like, he's right. I don't want him to be right.
I know. There was a D&D meme I saw where somebody was playing tabletop. I was like, okay, you just landed the ship perfectly. Like, I'm gonna say my witty quote. Rolls a 1.
Yeah. Splat.
That's
was
awful.
That was a terrible moment when, in fact, I was still working in a movie theater when Serenity came out.
Oh, no.
And I was watching it with my manager because he was on break. And so he's like, I'm just going to watch the whole, so, sit and watch the whole movie. And how old? I don't even remember how old I was. I was still in early 20s, I want to say. And, my boss at the time was in his early mid-50s. We both jumped up out of our chairs and screamed like little girls when it happened.
Well, I mean, they even ganked Book.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys have read the Firefly comics or not.
No.
I read the comics, but I knew that he was dead because they was like,
Yeah.
like they go try and shave him, like, Shepherd Book. Oh, Crapper's dead.
Right. In the comics, it actually finally gives Book's backstory.
Oh, nice.
Which, turns out he was an Alliance officer.
Ooh.
I figured as much.
And he went undercover to ferret out, those damn brown coats. When he came back, they said that he'd gone over to him. And so they jettisoned him out in an escape pod, and apparently the escape pods are basically death traps. He just managed to survive.
Wow.
But because he was a special Alliance operative, he was like, fuck it, I'm going to be somebody else. And then took the way of the shepherd, and that is why he was able to shoot people in the kneecap with one hand.
Yes.
Which, oh my God.
Yes.
Just throwing it out there, that's pretty impressive. It also kind of explained everything in the series.
Oh, yeah, and everybody's reaction to him like, you, and like get knocked out or something like that.
Right. Right.
Well, I mean, Whedon's done just amazing things throughout his career, and I can't get enough of him. And so what I really want to do is have him work on an episode of Doctor Who.
Ooh.
The problem is, I don't want the Doctor to die.
Yes. Exactly.
Because it's like, his thing is like, he has a little dartboard of, who do you love? Thwop. They're dead.
I think that would even be beyond Wheaton to take out the Doctor. I think that would be beyond him.
But you
I think
say that, but it is weird.
No, he would take out Clara in a hot New York minute.
I mean, sure, but I don't know if he would take her out as well as, like, because nobody loves Clara as much as Bill kind of loves other people.
True.
Or he'd bring back Rose, like, hey, she's back, dead.
But like actually kill her.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Like not lock her away, not send her to another, just like spike through the dome, like bad juju, blood on the ground, blood on the Doctor's hands. Ah! Yeah.
But I don't know that'd be an interesting dynamic though, because would she even mean that much to 12 at this point?
She might not. He's kind of an asshole.
But he's a fun asshole.
He's
He
fantastic.
is a fun
though.
asshole.
I'm a major 12 fangirl right now.
Oh, good. Absolutely. So that brings me to the next question I was going to ask. So obviously you like Peter Capaldi.
Love him.
Do you think he's taking the Doctor in not necessarily the right direction, but the best direction that he could?
Well, he's playing it old school, and that's why I like him in the part.
Same. I love it because he's got the cross of the old man
Exactly,
dynamic
the
that
cross
Hartnell
old
had.
man.
But he's
Yeah.
still
Without
fun, though.
senility.
I mean, he's got some amazing... I mean, that's part, with, 10 being such a dark Doctor. But at the same time, he had a lot of really, fun sides to him and a lot of really fun situations. And just some of the zingers Capaldi's had, in the last season. I mean, he's killing me in the best way.
Oh yeah. Well, I love that they've taken the thing I saw, the don't breathe from Long Breath, and then don't think from the bank job, and then don't blink from from Blink. Obviously, like, what can I do?
Exactly. There's the don't be lasagna bit though. That's something the fourth Doctor would say, and I went nuts when he said that. Just don't pop, don't be lasagna.
I might not have seen that episode yet. I am catching up, but I'm almost there.
That was a very good episode too.
I've missed the last 3 episodes of this current season.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen the last like 4 or 5 episodes. I ended on the bank job.
I know. Who are you telling? I'm pissed too. I was watching with my my significant other, and she just isn't always in the mood to watch it. And so I was like, abandon ship. I'm going to watch the episodes without her. So
right.
I tore through 3 of them today. Like,
well, it's just the second to last episode and then the season finale. I mean, just the nerd rage. And it was after the season finale, and I immediately call my dad because I got him rehooked on the series. And I go, what the hell was that? And my dad goes, what the hell was that? We're just both yelling over the phone.
I've seen the big spoiler from the season finale,
Oh, good.
unfortunately, because I have been on the internet.
I could successfully say that I'm amazing at predicting things then.
Oh yeah, you already knew that Missy was the master?
I told Ashley.
Well, but I love her though. Now,
yes.
I'm all on board for her.
But no, I told Ashley and several other my Doctor Who friends.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw the first episode of Peter Capaldi, I called a whole bunch of things at once.
Right.
I called Missy was the master. I called the phone call between Matt Smith and Clara, or Peter Capaldi's like talking to her afterwards.
Right.
That's Peter Capaldi talking to the female fan base. Like, you want to be young, don't you? You want to be all handsome and blah, blah, blah. And then also the third thing I called was the description of Peter Capaldi's character is perfectly described in his outfit. It's that traditional, like, straight-up black and white outfit, but with the red undercoat, all that anger and fury he has underneath.
Well, and I actually saw that symbolism take effect today because the episode with the boneless, where when he does stride out of the TARDIS gloriously,
that episode was amazing.
Oh yeah, loved it.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to strangle that old guy.
Oh yes.
Yeah, like I've never wanted to kill a character in a show more. Anyway, the entire episode, he has his coat buttoned up, all of it, the whole time, until the very end, where he strides out and it gloriously flows out behind him and shows the red underneath, and then he's like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
Yeah.
It was amazing, and it showed that he is incredibly powerful and a force to be reckoned with, and so much fun.
Yes, I mean, it's just the way he plays it, especially with events. And I don't want to give out any spoilers in case
We don't care on the show.
Okay.
Go on.
Well, with Danny dying, and then Clara gets trapped in that dream sequence, just so the Doctor could see what, she would do, if she had the capability of getting all the keys and, trying to, browbeam into doing her bidding. And, I mean, it was just such a beautifully done scene when he says, do you really think do you think that you mean that little to me, that I would, write you off for doing such a thing? And it was just such a beautifully done scene. I mean, yes, there's all this fury and rage, but just, their, friendship is just, just the way it's, portrayed is just such a beautiful thing, really.
I think it's interesting that he hates Danny. I
Yes.
feel like it's the first time that the Doctor has really returned the feelings for the companions since Tennant and Rose, at the very least.
Well, I mean, there are feelings, but I think it's more of just a very deep friendship, and he's at that point now, I think, where it's just more of a, I mean, I would say, it's more of a paternal, love for her, and he just, doesn't want her hurt. But I think, of course, at the very end, he kind of warmed to Danny, but it was, I mean, just still, hell of a road to get to that point. Well, because if you think about it, 9 and 10 never liked Mickey either.
No, and he turned out pretty fucking awesome,
Yeah,
I gotta say.
Mickey really grew as a character.
Oh, he did.
And so did Donna. It's
Oh, God.
yeah. Hers I wasn't as emotionally impacted by Journey's End as my significant other was, but she explained to me why it hit her so hard, and now I can't watch that episode.
Well, it's just, Donna was just, a true, I mean, she was the doctor's best friend. I mean, just the perfect foil to him. And I mean, they just meshed so well together. And to have such character development, because when we first see Donna, with the arachne, I hated her.
Yep.
And then when she was announced as the new companion, I was like, I'm done. And then by the end of it, it's like, don't go.
Yeah. And she grew so much. She turned from this person who was obsessed with trivial nonsense, Donna who missed everything.
Right.
And she goes from that to not only the most important person in the universe, but a shining beacon of light for stopping the Doctor once again. And then to have all of that erased, to have her who grew so much just go back to that narcissistic
Trollop.
horrible woman.
Yeah.
Just kills me. Just kills me. But she was an amazing companion as well.
Yes.
Just every episode that she was in made me either was a tearjerker or maybe bump my fist like hell yeah.
Exactly.
Because I mean the Ood sphere.
Oh yes.
Oh
That was creepy.
yeah, it was. And then, well, I mean the second time when they were actually like on the planet where they turned the dude into the Ood.
So,
Oh, that one creeped you out?
well, it's just so gross. I mean, it's,
It was pretty gross.
yeah. I mean, and I've seen some gory things in my day, but I mean, it doesn't even have to be outright gore. That's just a squick factor there. Just no.
That was another amazing series, the exploration of the emotions caused by, subservience in the Ood.
Right.
I thought was really excellent. I mean, it's been used as a source of social commentary for a long time. The series has. What do you think the next series? What do you think the next season is going to focus on as far as social commentary goes?
Ooh. I don't know. I just don't want Moffat to screw it up. But I heard they're bringing in new writers, so that there's hope.
Well, I mean, they could use some fresh blood.
Well, really.
Well, also, the second season has always been a better season when it comes to a newer Doctor.
True.
Because you had the first season to introduce him, get people to get used to him, get to know him. Then second season, okay, we're off and running now.
Well, I don't know, because Matt Smith, his run, seasons 5 and 6, he had those first 2 seasons were a really solid run. Yeah, I mean 5, yeah, there is that build up, but to me the storylines were really solid. 6 was amazing, especially with their mid season, with the big revelation about Amy. I don't know how the neighbors didn't stomp on the floor above me because I was just yelling. Because to me that was the biggest WTF, probably one of the biggest WTF moments in all the time I've watched the show. But 7, then just Matt Smith's last season was just spoiled as far as I'm concerned. It was wasted on him, and I think he does, as an actor he deserved a lot better than that.
Why do you say that in particular? What did you dislike so much about it?
The storylines just seemed really weak, and especially with Nightmare and Silver. You have Neil fucking Gaiman writing an episode, and it was terrible. Just to me, it was just so. I mean, it's really hard to describe, but just to me, just something was off. For pretty much all of season 7, something was just majorly off.
Nightmare and Silver. Remind me of the plot real quick.
Where the Doctor was being overtaken by Cybermen, and he was fighting himself.
Right, that's right.
I mean, brilliant acting from Matt Smith, having that, character duality there, but it's just the episode, to me, it just dragged on and on. It just, I don't know, to me, the story didn't work, and especially with the 2 kids that, the 2 kids that Clara looks after. It was just, no, get rid of them. They are the worst characters ever.
Yeah, I felt like they were kind of trying to jump the shark there a little bit, and maybe have kids as companions, and then everyone was like, no.
No, I was actively rooting for the kids to get killed. And then it was also a pity too, because they had Warwick Davis, in that 2-parter, and God, I mean, none of us would have had childhoods without Warwick Davis.
Correct.
And I would kind of like to see him come back at some point, just 'cause I think him, I don't want to say versus Capaldi, but, just the two of them together would be really good. But just, to me, a lot of season 7 was just wasted potential. And especially with with Matt Smith's final episode, it was just dragging on and on and on. It's like, get with it.
Yeah, I was not a big fan of The Town Called Christmas.
No.
Also, there was no reason for the town to be called Christmas.
No reason.
None. That annoyed the shit out of me. That's just, it's a Christmas special. Why? Because the town's called Christmas. What what?
No,
Really?
we just had an episode called Last Christmas, and it was, like I say, it was a lot of really great campy fun. Watch it. My dad, is one of the greatest influences, of everything that I'm into. You've got Aliens references, including a fantastic line from Capaldi about that. You've got The Thing references. I think there was a Big Trouble in Little China reference at one point. I don't know. It was just a lot of great 80s camp thrown in. But the characters were really fun, and the story was really fun. And just at the very end, where they talk about how, any Christmas could be the last Christmas, and it just tugs at your heartstrings. That's how you do a Christmas episode.
I feel like you may be right.
But just Matt Smith's, like with Tennant's final episode, I was not right for 3 days.
Yeah, that was really harsh. The yelling at the booth.
Uh-huh.
It just pained me. I would say it pulled at my heartstrings, but it was like it was jumping on them. It was really unfair.
Yeah. But with Matt Smith's final speech was just absolutely beautiful. In that moment where a certain person pops up to say goodbye. Just all of that was just beautiful. But for the first 50 minutes before that, it's just, it's like an, Holy Grail, get on with it. Just dragging on and on.
Have they had John Cleese in a Doctor Who episode?
Could we handle that?
I want that. I want that really bad. That's who I would want.
I want to see Eric. Him and Eric. Eric Idle would be amazing. Okay, you've put the idea in my head.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Well, if you're listening, Russell T. Davies, come on, write the episode with a minute.
Yes, come back, Davies. We miss you.
Well, you, Chris, who do you want to see jump into the series?
Don't know. I mean, I've had a lot of people I've liked being in the series before.
Nick Frost.
Nick Frost was fun to be in the series.
Yeah.
Simon Pegg as well.
Simon Pegg as well, yeah. During that weird TV episode was Simon Pegg.
Well, yeah. It was
that was a great episode.
With...
Just making fun of reality TV the entire time. That was pretty fun.
But it was so well
This is
done.
Big Brother 238. They go, what?
Right.
Trying to think here. Who else? I'm trying to think of any other British actors I like in that series who haven't been in it yet.
Ooh, they haven't had Jack Davenport on there, have they?
Don't think so. That'd be a good one.
I would love to see him on there. Of course, I wanted him to be the Doctor at one point, but, of course, half the cast of Coupling should be on there anyway. Jack Davenport and Richard Coyle. Of course, everyone tells me, don't get Richard Coyle. He's too much like Tom Baker. It's like, I don't care.
I kind of want to see them throw in an American actor or two. Just a couple. Because even I can never remember his name, but the guy who played Canton Everett III, same guy who plays Crowley in Supernatural.
Yeah, but Mark Shepard's British.
Yes. Right.
Yes,
and that's the thing is...
And Badger in Firefly. And
Yes.
he's in all the fandoms.
So
Yes,
good.
he's amazing.
And he's I love him in everything he's
Yes.
in.
Yes.
By the way, just... he does
Okay, I hold out hope they would put Misha Collins on at some point, but I don't think we could handle it.
I want it. I'd be down for that.
I think I would die of happiness.
Then again, of course, everyone wants the Super
Who
Who
Lock.
Lock.
Super Lock,
That'd
yeah.
be the closest we'd ever get.
Well, I mean, everyone loves British guy clever
The Mark
name,
Shepard's
and,
like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Bandy Stan Kumquat would be an excellent addition to the show.
I mean, he'd make a great master.
Absolutely, British guy Cumber name is amazing, and I don't think that we could really handle that, but I would want it anyway because he'd be like, no, that's not a real thing, and at the same time, he and the Doctor would go back and forth, especially with Capaldi. Like it would have been really, I would have loved to have him in Tenet. Oh,
Well, the 60th will happen eventually,
it's true. It's true.
You're like, hey, guys.
I'm also, I did like that they gave him a whole new regeneration cycle so that we can get to that point. I figured they would.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I also think if they had that technology the whole time, why didn't they use it? Did they have to, kill a Time Lord to make that happen?
That's a good point.
Oh, it could be like the whole referencing other thing not related to this. Fullmetal Alchemist, they make the Philosopher's Stone kind of thing where they grind so many humans into one stone to make it. Make so many
Maybe a bunch of Time Lords
so many Time
volunteered to
Lords,
die.
Yeah, into one thing.
I just had horrible thoughts. Like you talk about, using the bones of people. What if it's dead companions?
Oh, oh. I like it, but dear God.
Oh yeah, they probably would never go that dark. Whedon might, but we'll forgive him.
All right, thank you much, Richard. I appreciate it.
Oh.
All right.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Do you want to give it another few minutes and then take a break, or?
Yeah, sure, I'm fine.
All right, good deal.
Because we're on a roll right now. It's good. Doing good.
But
Just stopping me.
don't stop me now. Oh, that would have been another amazing addition to the Doctor Who universe. Been Freddie Mercury.
Oh my God.
That would have been awesome. Just I want musical guest stars. I know
That'd be
that's
great.
dumb.
But the thing
Neil
is,
Patrick Harris.
Yes. Oh, yes.
yes.
Please give me that.
Is he
I would explode, but want.
yeah.
Because he's amazing. He is
And he
my
would fit in
favorite
well.
blonde on the planet. Like, and you could give him literally any role, and he'd be like, "Yeah, I'll do that."
Well, he's amazing. I mean, he's so talented.
So if you had Neil Patrick Harris in the show, you can have that one throwaway joke, just be kind of reference, would be like, "Didn't you used to be a doctor?" I used to be.
Yes.
That'd be really funny. Or like call him Dr. Hauer or something like that. Oh, that'd be fun.
And they would never talk about that. You got Hauser and then House. Hugh Laurie. I mean, would they ever manage to wrangle him on there? Is the question.
I want Hugh Laurie in the Doctor.
But he's already British. Talk about American people on the
True.
show.
Yeah, you're right. So,
Just because he's going to impersonate a
Patrick
great
Harris.
American accent.
I think it'd be really funny to have I think it'd be funny to have Hugh Laurie as House on Doctor Who, as an incredibly famous British actor in an incredibly famous British series in an American accent.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be really funny.
Well, Mark Shepard already did American accent, though, when he was in Doctor Who.
Yeah,
and
Captain
it was
Everett.
flawless. Well, of course, I mean, he can. As far as I'm concerned, he does no wrong. But I mean, he was just. Of course, I would. If Supernatural will loan him out back to Doctor Who, just so he could do a one-off, with Capaldi as Canton again. Just think it'd be funny.
That would be pretty great. Although also the just his stint as Canton, where the throwaway joke at the end of it, where he's like, they were telling me you wanted to marry someone, and that's why you got thrown out. Black is this person, and I'm more progressive than people think. It's like, yes, he is. And I'm like, yeah.
That was brilliant. A fun fact about that episode too. With Mark Shepard, older Canton, that's actually Mark Shepard's dad.
Interesting.
Huh. That's really cool.
I just thought that was, when I found that, I was like, because, I was thinking about it, I was like, wow, they got the actors to look alike. It's like, oh, there's a very good reason for that.
Yeah, that whole, it looks like one of his chromosomes is exactly the same. That's so weird.
But no, that would be fun. God,
Well,
Americans, who else?
They've always had amazing casting in Doctor Who. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Look at young Amy.
Oh,
You
yeah.
would swear to God that she grew up and turned into Karen Gillan.
Yes.
But that little girl's her cousin, though.
Oh. I didn't know, but that's awesome. Dang. That's the way to do it if you want someone to look like.
Well, it's funny because I think they're distant cousins. They had never even met before until
wow.
they got to set that day. So now, of
awesome.
course, they're always together, but it's just, I just thought it was funny.
Let's see, what other American actors we want to see in that? Chris Pratt would be hilarious.
Oh my
my
God.
goodness.
We wouldn't survive it.
There's so many good candidates for it, though. Gets also comedians would be really funny. Have somebody get some Ralphie May up in there. You don't think so?
I don't know if it'd be good for the show. It'd be funny, but I don't know if it'd be good for the show.
True.
We need people who are more just straight up like huge nerds in their private lives kind of thing. But
Chris Titus.
Chris Titus.
Yes.
Donald Glover. Because once again, a musical kind of person. Trying to think who else would be another thing, super nerd. Vin Diesel be kind of fun. Like,
Oh, yes, he'd be wonderful.
That'd certainly be funny.
Yeah, it'd be funny as hell. Just have him have like 2 lines,
Or
just show up. I was like, is that? What? It just kind of goes.
Or like have him handle the situation like an action hero, and the doctor just be like, stop
No.
doing that.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. No, we're not doing that. No.
But we've got this bomb. I can just strap the bomb to my chest and then throw it and jump out the building, and you can get no.
So that'd be great for Capaldi too. It's kind of like that's
Yeah.
stupid. No.
Exactly. No, stop that. That's silly.
No, that's too silly. Stop. We're done with this sketch. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to think of everything I watched. Of course, I've kind of given up on some shows lately. Trying to think who. Now I'm thinking of like the entire cast of The Walking Dead, but that doesn't quite work because you.
Some of them are British.
Yes. I don't think any of us would survive Norman Reedus being on there.
I could be down for that.
I mean, I would like to see it happen, but so I think he does like Doctor Who, so that would be cool in itself.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Well, I mean, the last time that we had a huge Doctor Who fan on the show, the ultimate Doctor Who fan really was David Tennant. He even
Yes.
married freaking the fifth
He married
Doctor's daughter,
Fifth Doctor's daughter, exactly.
and then had her star in the show as
That's the Doctor's
his daughter.
Who is still out there in the Whoverse right now too.
I know. I
I
want
know.
to see that
Waiting
storyline
for her to come
resolved.
back.
Anybody
Yeah, exactly.
else?
Yes. Yes.
This, oh, please.
Because they don't even really explain. I mean, she just swanned off, and that was it.
Exactly. It's like, hey, see you later, guys. I'm
Yeah.
off to do things.
I'm still thinking about people who could be on the show. And it's just the problem is just it's like, of course, I know Sleepy Hollow doesn't work either, but I kind of rage quit that show. Robin Lord Taylor from Gotham would probably be good, but
Stephen Amell.
ooh,
Yeah.
we wouldn't survive that either. But Barrowman would put in a good word for him; it would work.
No, I'm
It's
sure.
true. And he was also an amazing actor on that show. He was good on Arrow too, but
yeah.
I will never get over his appearance on Doctor Who, his entire saga. It was just, it was so much fun and so poignant. And then the big reveal at the end,
Yes.
I jumped up and screamed. That was my jump up and scream moment for sure.
Yeah,
It's like, it all makes sense now, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Also, 5 billion years.
Yes.
Fuck that.
yeah,
It's like he can die, but it takes forever.
right.
It takes forever.
But it's weird. But it's weird how like he lived forever, but he evolved that big giant head in a jar.
Yeah, I'm
But
kind of curious as to see how that happened.
yeah, I know. That's what
The,
makes period.
the headless monks, I think, was a clue.
Oh, that could do it.
Yeah.
But then why so big? Like, is his ego really that big?
Yeah, wait, y'all remember Third Rock? Incoming transmission from the big giant head.
Which, of course, now means Third Rock from the Sun is officially canon part of Doctor Who.
Exactly.
Oh,
That's
God.
obviously, that's got to be it,
Face
right?
of Bow is leading John Lithgow and company too.
Ooh, he'd be a good one to put on there.
John Lithgow?
Yeah.
Let's go. Oh, yeah.
Not British either.
No, exactly. He'd be American, but he could also play either villain or hero because
Right.
he did a really good job as Trinity in Dexter.
Well, he always plays. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it throws me off whenever he plays a good guy. I mean, it's just he plays just just that man just scares the hell out of me. He'd be a good villain. Yeah. Or on the flip side, have French Stewart, show up on because I just have. Well, no, I mean it would be hilarious. But I
He's
mean,
not
just
doing
give him
anything.
some tragic. No, he's on. What's that? What's the name of that show with Anna Faris and is it called Motherhood or what is it?
Parenthood?
Not Parenthood. It was Mom, I think is what it's called. But no, he's on that. So I mean, no, he is working. No, poor guy's working.
He's working, but we haven't seen him, so clearly he's not working.
Exactly.
That's-
It's like, is Pauly Shore dead? That kind of thing.
I can't answer
Thinking
that
of
question.
Biodome.
Have the doctor pop in at Biodome real quick and just be like, oh, nope.
Yeah, that would be funny. Oh no, I'm just thinking of I'm trying to think of everybody. Like I said, I still hold. Yeah, Misha Collins is our only hope for a crossover. I just want to see it
100%
happen.
down for that. That'd be amazing. And he could finally stop talking like this.
That poor
That'd be
guy.
really fun. Because I know he's got to get tired of it after a while. His Batman voice.
Yeah, this is Batman voice,
It
isn't
is
it?
his Batman voice.
Of course.
The only thing he's missing is throat cancer. Don't worry. I'm sure he doesn't have throat cancer.
Well, I certainly hope not.
We hope.
Exactly.
I'm catching up on Supernatural as well, speaking of Misha Collins.
I cannonballed into that fandom.
She did.
I
so
started.
She did.
I started watching it the second to last week of April last year, and I cleared 8 seasons in 8 weeks.
Nice. That's about how I did it. Although it was a couple years ago. I had a whole lot of free time at my job at the time because they did not want me in the office. I was a soldier. They don't want fat guys in the office. So they were like, go somewhere else. Done.
Can do.
Like,
So
hello, Netflix.
I tore through all the seasons of Supernatural that they had at the time, and then started watching it episodically, which drove me nuts.
Yes, there's just because I after I cleared Netflix, then I caught up on 9, with the CW page, and so then season 10 starts, and I watched the first episode. I pouted for a good hour after fact. It's like I can't fast forward to the next one. It's like, what do I do with my life now?
That would be another fun thing to have pop over in there. It's Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki. I want
not survive.
I want Super Who. And
So
of
do
course I
I.
want Wholock.
Yeah.
Super Wholock would be perfect.
Yes, and if the people who created that Tumblr are listening, thank you.
Yep. Well, they had a panel for it at was San Japan last year. They had
so.
Did
the
they?
panel for
Oh.
Super Wholock. Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that's as close to like a perfect, it's a digital comic book, and it's just, I mean, just to me, it's just so much, it was so much fun to read, and it just, I don't know, I just really like it.
Well, and as well, you should. The 3 fandoms work a lot better together than one might potentially expect, being that Sherlock will be like, no, that's just a person. And Supernatural will be like, no, that's a monster.
Right.
And then the Doctor will be like, it's an alien. You're all crazy.
Exactly. It's fun.
Or maybe have them all be right somehow. I don't know.
Oh, God, who else? Ooh, to have Jim Beaver on Doctor Who. Bobby.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I just always think of him as Bobby, even though I know that
Exactly.
he's not the producer of the show.
Well, it's funny because he was, well, I mean, and I have vague memories of him being on Deadwood because my parents watched that show. And so I was like, oh, it's that guy, but it's, but no, that would be fun too. Just to, foil off of Capaldi. That would be a good one.
I also feel like we should have people with American backwoods accents, at least one more on Doctor Who, just because this accent and this accent don't get heard together often enough. I think I mean, it could be just it's just not as viable as we might think it might be.
Now, I say, that doctor fella,
Goes to the swamps of Louisiana. I do not speak that language. What is that?
I speak over 3,000 languages.
Yeah.
What the hell are you saying?
Are you sure those are words?
That's one storyline I would like to see. 'Cause, I mean, especially, I always go nuts when any show, be it Supernatural or American Horror Story, when they touch on, some of that Louisiana lore, they have not had a Doctor Who episode that would touch on that. And I think that would be really cool at some point, just to
Sure.
dig
Like
into
a
the
swamp witch or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
or the
yeah.
Legend of the Rougarou. I mean, how cool would that be?
Oh yeah. Oh, have they done that on Supernatural?
Yes, they did.
That's
That
right.
was that season 2 or 3?
I think it's about 3, I think.
It was
That's right,
early
where
on.
they had
It was precast. So it
Yeah,
was
it's
early.
precast, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember that now. Where that was a father and son episode where
Yes.
Oh,
And it was brilliant.
it was brilliant. Little
Yeah.
bit of tear in that, but
Hey, that guy can never live. that actor, or whoever he plays, has to die terribly. Because he was also in, the actor who played the father in
that's
Supernatural.
right.
He was in Grey's Anatomy before that.
Oh, you're talking about Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, Jordan Morgan, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just has to die badly.
Yeah.
well, him and Sean Bean. man.
Exactly. Sean
And people want Sean Bean on Doctor Who. It's like, no.
No, I've had enough death on Doctor Who. I
Yes.
think.
Yeah.
I think we're okay without that.
Like, just this once. Everybody, just this once. Sean Bean lives.
So do you think that the callback to Capaldi being in Pompeii, when do you think that is specifically going to happen? I mean, I know he mentioned it briefly
It's a
in
good
the...
question.
the first episode, yeah, like, I've seen his
Yeah.
face before.
It's like I
Yes.
was trying to tell myself something with this face. I
Yeah.
want them to bring that up.
That's a good point.
I've also noticed a couple other little unbroken threads that have not yet been tied off, specifically children with red balloons.
Oh, with the family of blood.
The family of blood, and the little girl who was ambushed the first time, her balloon flew up into the air. She had it back in the mirror. There was also the child with the red balloon when the helicopter was descending in season 1 of the reboot. When Bad Wolf 1 descending, and the kid had the balloon and let it go, and it flew past the helicopter. There was the one in the first one with Martha. Kid let the balloon go when they and there have been a lot of them, and I want them to tie that together because I know they can, because they've done it before.
Exactly. But my question is, have they had 99 of these?
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah, there were a bunch of them, and I want it to be something creepy that, is like an alien creature disguising itself as red balloons. And
That'd be cool.
Yeah. And they only attach to children, and right?
Yeah.
You can make anything creepy if you add kids to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Have they had changelings yet on Doctor Who?
I don't
Don't think so.
Ooh.
They've had a shifter because they had that for the bank job.
Yes.
But that was a good shifter.
Yeah.
That was a not gonna kill you shifter,
Yeah.
which is an immediate throwback to to Supernaturalists. They wanted to do that. Now they have shifters on Doctor Who.
Exactly.
Come on, somebody touch some silver to that bitch.
Well, yeah, part of why I like Supernatural so much is, number one, just because I was raised on X-Files, and half the people who worked on X-Files work on it, so there's a lot of throwbacks to that. But it's just, I've always liked this, I've always liked legends and monsters, and spooky fairy tales and things like that. And to me, that's why, I love the show so much. But, that lore isn't just restricted, to something like Supernatural. I think, the Doctor goes in all these, look at all the places the Doctor goes and all the things that he encounters. Who's to say you're not going to find those same creatures? We've already had a werewolf,
True.
So why can't we have, a big nasty, like, one of the big nasties like they have on Supernatural, the really bad shifters. They had changelings in season 3.
I would say they also had demons in Doctor Who too, with when they're on Mars.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The big pit.
Yes.
It's like
God.
The Satan
that was
pit. Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, same pit. Yeah, like episode of Doom.
Yeah, they had possession. It was flat out possession.
Yeah, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was terrifying.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
and awesome, and I couldn't get enough of it.
Which was really cool, because, wow, they went there,
Yeah, I still get shivers when I think of that episode. Also, just what they did with Toby in that episode. That was the character's name.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the crossover and it was so good.
That was a bit Event Horizon, and I loved it.
I also really liked the well, I've got your officer here slightly used. Don't mind me.
Yeah.
just a little hand wave. Don't think about it too much. Okay, bye.
Right. Right.
And I love that he leaves threads like that just out in the universe for people to go and chase after some more. That's just so much fun to me. It lets you believe that maybe these characters can continue on and have more adventures where they don't all die.
Yeah.
Or that could just be my naivete. No say.
Yeah.
So what do y'all think is going to be with Doctor Who from now on? What do you think the future of Doctor Who holds?
Well, I think we're pretty safe in saying it's going to have a bunch of British actors.
Well, yes. That's the safe bet.
I think touching more on because they're making a big point of Gallifrey coming back, bringing that in, maybe just kind of like that throwback to classic Who, because they were on the planet then. And definitely more fighting with the Master.
Oh, of course. But
yeah.
as I say, back since the reboot, they've only really had 1 or 2 Time Lords the entire time. So if you bring back Gallifrey, you're going to have a whole bunch more Time Lords. So would we go back to remember that one season where they had the Doctor on trial? Or would they go back to something like that, where they're trying to have more of the politics of Gallifrey and things of that nature?
I think they could certainly try it. That'd be an easy way for them to get into, current events and things like that. But that'd also be a great way to bring back funny hats.
Yes.
Yes.
The classic Time Lord robes.
And then naturally when, the Doctor shows up in a fez, they'll be like, that's the wrong hat.
Right.
It's equally silly, but not the one we're looking for.
Not silly enough.
But I think you could be right. I think they could bring Gallifrey back. But then again, I think the search for it is more important in this case. And I think they're gonna keep having him be torn about looking for it because he knows the only way he's going to be able to do so is by essentially putting himself in the same situation at the end of The Town Called Christmas, which is where he just kind of has to hope that shit doesn't hit the fan.
Yes.
Right.
Again.
But they could also just play it off with him searching for Gallifrey, searching for himself, like his old self, his old kid self, even. Because they already referenced that in this season with the dreams episode, where like they were underneath his bed in the barn.
Yeah. And they shouldn't have been able to be there.
Exactly.
At all.
Yeah.
Right.
Like aside from time lock, also stasis, also what, how did, yeah, super freaking cool. And then I also did like the fact that they finally went to Trenzalore, so that was pretty fucking nifty. Just throwing that out there. That was really solid. But I think that they can do more with that as well. Like maybe have the great intelligence still pop up, just not be able to like have Clara swat him down or something to that effect. Or maybe, she missteps. Maybe she didn't get all the ones in the future. Maybe something to that effect happens.
Oh, that's a good point.
Interesting.
I mean, and it also explains why she is still fucking impossible in the current day because she is clearly way too smart. Like, she's unreasonably smart, and that's fine. That's fine. Like, I'll give her the whole, I lived the entire life with the Doctor and helped him survive that thing. Like, okay,
Yeah, because she jumped into the stream.
I'm okay with that. So I think that would be an interesting plot hook, if nothing else. Maybe the TARDIS bumps off that timeline or something to that effect, because there's always wonky shit happening with the TARDIS.
Yes.
Or even, I was going to say, even then, with Gallifrey coming back, would you have more than one TARDIS now as well?
Potentially, although I don't like that idea because the rest of them are observers, and the Doctor is decidedly not anymore.
Right.
But we'll say, if you go back to the reference that you mentioned earlier about the art gallery being the basement of the curator's TARDIS, could we be more in TARDIS? Could that actually theory have a plausibility?
Could that be another TARDIS? Yeah. Well, I was thinking that maybe the curator is just a later version of the Doctor, or it's Tom Baker living out, his some of his days in that situation, and the only reason why he looked so old there is the same reason why Peter Davies looked old in the David Tennant crossover, a little mini episode that they had, Spatial Confluence.
And also, speaking of Tennant, with Martha Jones, when they went to, he had that the laser screwdriver, and he instantly aged him 1,000 years. They can age.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And so they just suspended his regenerative capacity. And, so I think it's really, I think it would be interesting for them to bring that back if Tom Baker would be willing to hop on that train again. Hint, hint, do it, Tom.
Yes.
So I would want to see that personally. I want to see Tom Baker come back. Just one more time. Just one more time.
He's a national treasure. I mean, he really is.
Yep. And he will always be the Doctor. Like, that's the thing is David Tennant's my Doctor. Tom Baker is the Doctor.
Yes.
That's how I feel about it.
Yes. Agreed.
What do you think, Chris? Where do you want to see it go?
Oh, no, I kind of like the theorization of having Gallifrey be more there, exploring that world, exploring that political system, exploring that culture. Because we've explored other cultures of other alien races here and there, but Gallifrey is the big one. You could spend an entire season on Gallifrey just doing things.
Think maybe make it into like a buddy cop type season?
Maybe kind of weird, a little siren on top of the TARDIS, like, woo, get the bad guys.
Time criminals. I mean, they tried him for crime, so, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Maybe.
Sure.
Is that another 48 hours?
Another. Yes, that's exactly it. That's exactly what we need is the Doctor to become 48 hours.
Yes. Because you can't be a lethal weapon. No, it's Doctor.
Of course.
The non-lethal weapon.
Now you see, at one point, Mel Gibson might have been good on the show.
Before he went batshit insane?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like now just tarnish Doctor Who if he was a guest. No offense, Mel Gibson, if you're listening.
No, you can go ahead and take offense,
Yeah,
Mel
it's
Gibson,
fine.
if you're listening. You can kind of go fuck yourself, mate.
What is it going to do to us?
Come
Yell
beat
at me
down my
about how I'm...
door.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yell at me because I'm marrying a Jew. Yeah, let's go.
yeah. We've already made fun of Gary Busey, and that's the most insane person we can make fun of on the show so far. And we've lived to tell the tale, so I think we're fine.
Gary Busey would be awesome on Doctor Who.
Oh my God! But once again, I think Gary Busey's best role in anything is to not tell him that he's on anything. Just let him be Gary Busey at it.
Like, have you seen the Amazon Fire commercial with Gary Busey? He's like holding the Amazon Fire, like it's like basically a Chromecast.
Hilarious.
It's like,
That's really funny.
he's holding it's basically it's like the Chromecast. It's like a flash stick you put in the back of your HDMI port, and it becomes like a Roku or things like that where you can access the internet. So he says, in one hand I have the million hours of art, blah, blah, blah. In the other hand, it's a seashell. And he's like, I don't know which one to open. He opens one. Oh, like there's the yes. And he opens the other hand. It's like kind of.
That's fantastic. So yes, but Gary Busey could be the bad guy, obviously.
Obviously.
Because he's just tearing shit down. This isn't even real.
Got us men in suits. Look at us.
Yeah.
I'm the only sane one here.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, so I think we're all agreed. That's where we want to see the Phantom go.
Exactly. Gary Busey.
All right, perfect. All right, well, on that note, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here, Ashley. We
Thank
should
you
have
very
Mark
much.
back next time around.
Sure.
So no worries. We as previously mentioned, we're working on the rights to bring him back.
Okay.
We just have to get some black onyx to make it permanent. But
Yeah,
other than that,
exactly.
we should be fine.
Not too hard to find, I don't think.
No, it's right around the corner shop. It's the of course the apothecary.
Yes.
The same place where I get all of my witch's brews.
Wait, Bruce or Bruce?
Both.
Okay.
I get my witch's named Bruce there, as well as the brews that Bruce makes.
Could we even handle Bruce Campbell being a guest on Doctor Who?
No,
No.
absolutely not. But I want it anyway.
Yeah.
As Ash.
We have
Like-
the Star series coming up. That's enough for me.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
Well, once again, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for coming, and as
I had a
always,
great time.
glad to hear it. As always, whether your beard's on your face or in your heart, thanks for listening.